beautiful people. Welcome back to an all-new episode of Point of View. Before we get started, let's welcome Willie, who wants to be called King Willie Montague.
The one and only.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Oh my God, welcome back.
Listen,
The one and only.
he just came back off world tour, y'all, so we don't know what kingdom he started over where, but now he's back with us. We got a lot to catch up on today's show. From this infamous kiss between Halle Berry and Adrien Brody at the Oscars to Donald Trump calling for the death penalty for drug dealers. And later, you won't want to miss Girlfriend's Guide and Unpopular Opinion. So grab a seat, join the discussion. You're watching POV. All right, so the 2025 Oscars had a lot of standout moments, but the one that really had people talking, Halle Berry and Adrien Brody recreating their infamous 2003 Oscars kiss right in front of Adrien's girlfriend. Ooh, Lord, this was something to see, y'all. This was harmless and throwback, so many think. But how do we feel about this moment?
Oh, I think Adrien Brody came up. Did he win an Oscar?
He did.
So he came up 3 times. 2003, he came up with the kiss this time, and he came up with the Oscar. Good for you, Brody. You're doing
for
good.
Brody. I don't know. It looks like Holly is very apologetic, immediately after. But it's also just like, I mean, how would y'all feel? Like, y'all are at a public event, right? And this woman, well, you know this woman, right? Because everyone knows Halle Berry. But a woman walks up to your man and just kisses him right there.
But
I think the backstory matters, though, because he did it in 2003.
But now we're both in relationships.
But was he with her in 2003?
No, he wasn't with her, but she does know the backstory. Yeah. Also, he gives that he's just an authentic, genuine personality.
But how would you? I'm asking y'all.
It would have been another Will Smith and Chris Rock slap.
Halle Berry is black.
Halle Berry is black, but Halle Berry is yeah, Halle Berry. No, I love Halle Berry. Halle Berry's black, but the other young lady's not. All the backstory, all that stuff comes into play. I wouldn't have been offended in this situation. I feel like it's comical.
I don't think it would have bothered me. I mean, it's Halle Berry, Andrew Brody. So if I was like dating him and it's Halle Berry came to kiss, I'm like, he coming up all together. I mean, this guy.
I would have had to stop her.
I don't really think because it was backstory. It was just fun.
Agreeing with this kiss.
Halle Berry got her wig split.
Honestly, this kiss from 2003 was very passionate, sensual. Halle Berry's kiss was jokey, kind of lackluster. There was nothing passionate about it. His was.
That's how he grabbed her.
Hers was a little dry. She did warn the girlfriend before. She said, Georgina, I'm sorry. And then she went in for the kiss.
Oh, it was all in fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm about to be sorry. Absolutely not.
Okay, so do we feel like it was more of a publicity stunt or a genuine moment?
It could have been a mixture of both. But me standing off to the side being the girlfriend, I kind of just would like I don't know. Like I would have had to immediately go to the bar.
Is inappropriate. You with a whole woman standing there and you sit here and do that. No, I don't care. I
understand that. I'm sorry, Willie. I understand that there are actors and there's an actor and an actress. I understand that. But right now, you're not on a set. Okay, you are in the public eye with your partner, and this happens. Like I truly feel like it was inappropriate. I'm so sorry.
I think Hollywood is all a set. It's just one big set all the time. For one, and then I feel like there were a few statements that was made with this because Adrien Brody has been getting backlash for years. And so I guess some people.
Kiss?
Yes, for the kiss that he did with Halle Berry because she was in the middle of divorce but still with her husband, all those things. And so I think that in some extent it kind of held him up from being able to receive the award that he did get last night. And so in some sense it seemed that it was kind of reparative, and she's been showing a lot of support even this year leading up to him being able to, win that Oscar. So I think that it was all fun and games.
Me too. I think it was just all in fun. And I feel like if it was somebody else and he
I
just
hope
came
y'all
and run
see
up,
that it's all
I
in
wouldn't
fun
like
when somebody kissed y'all man
No,
in public.
it was Halle.
I hope it's all in fun.
It was Halle Berry and a backstory. That's different. Now, if it was just somewhere and some woman come up and kiss my man, that's a
then
whole
you're
different
gonna have
story.
a problem.
Yes.
Oh, because it's not a celebrity.
Well, because it's not this fun and things, the history that we know about it, then we'd have a problem.
You can't even make it make sense.
Yo, I'm trying to
He's trying to pull it. It ain't even making
I think it was in fun. It was in fun.
Okay, girl. Okay.
Do we think that social media is
Whatever,
blowing
really.
this out of proportion, or do we think
Yes.
that the kiss was expected? Let's wrap this one.
Yeah.
They going home together. Oh my gosh, it was
We
just
don't know.
fun. Oh,
All this
stop
polygamy
it.
and
Yeah, we don't know.
Go-
To be quite frank,
It was just fun.
we don't know. I think it was like I see both sides. Like I think it was like a good moment for publicity. But also, and they're probably really good friends too. But also, like, I just feel like it was inappropriate. Like, there were too many cameras. Like,
Nah,
it's
it
too many
wasn't that bad.
cameras.
That was the time.
Well, look
The
at
girlfriend
people,
is sitting there
Let's look at it
smiling.
again. Look at the people behind them. Like, oh, whoa. Like that. Even they were in shock. You can see people like this. Look at other people's reaction.
But the thing too, I feel like in Hollywood, and not even just Hollywood, in regular life, people are looking for that viral moment. And so I feel like this is probably that as well, because we all love Adrien Brody. He's an amazing actor, but I haven't heard anything about him recently. I know he didn't win this actor. I don't even know what the movie that he won it for was.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, they know what they're doing.
And if you're gonna do it, it's the best time to do it in front of the cameras, where it's just all innocent and
For a
fun.
moment. yeah.
Exactly. It would have
We
really
hope it
been
was
something had they
innocent.
been coming out of cafe. They know what to do.
Now that would have been a problem.
Exactly. So moving on to the next topic with an update on the latest in politics. Donald Trump says that he is ready for the death penalty for drug dealers, smugglers, and traffickers. Trump claims that every drug dealer on average kills at least 500 people. Some see this as a strong stance against crime, while others are calling it completely extreme. Extreme.
Well, I think he should start in the Senate.
I think we should let Willie.
Oh. Or in his own home.
I'll say this.
What do you have to say about this?
The great and wonderful
Blasphemy.
President Donald J. Trump. I want you to really.
Great and wonderful. I'm taking back that king title I just gave you.
I want you.
Come on, Papa Willie.
I want you to think about this. There are many states that have where a person sells a drug, and if that person dies from the drug that was sold, you actually get a life sentence. And so when you look at it from that angle, this is not just talking about someone selling a person weed. We're talking about opioids and people overdosing daily that are dying from drugs that has been bought over through the cartels, been bought over and sold. And if a person is literally giving a drug that can potentially kill our sons, our cousins, our friends, then you are then a murderer. What would be different from a person going out and shooting a person?
What I
Drug
want to know,
companies make opioids.
my question is,
The
what are
opioid-
they going to do
Who
to
probably
these big
gave these
pharma
campaigns?
companies that are the ones
That's
that are
what I'm
really
talking about.
producing these opioids?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, how you penalizing one, it just seems like, but I guess the whole premise
Who
is that
probably
they're
lobby
legally
him
selling
anyway.
them. So that's
They're
not
illegal because these opioids was created for a purpose. They were created so that people that need them, like, okay, you take morphine or Lortabs, that was created for people that have extreme pain, people that's fighting cancer and things like that. That you can't control. It doesn't matter, even if it's a controlled substance, how it gets to the street. I know people that sell them to the street, and then the people get it on the street, and what happens? It becomes
you know
a
the
black
people
market.
with, where they at? Where they at? You know the people. Oh, Lord.
So do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm going. So I don't think it's extreme. I think that you have to know the context, as y'all just said about the kiss. You have to know the context behind it. That it's not just you saying, oh, a person selling weed is going to get the death penalty. You're talking about people who are selling these fentanyl to other people, and people are dying.
And these people are also seeking these drugs. But what I wanted to say and touch on was, do y'all remember the story about the Central Park 5?
Right.
Y'all remember that
Yes.
story? And y'all remember how Donald Trump spent almost $100,000 in ads
Yes.
to give those innocent people the death penalty?
Right.
I just feel like,
trust his judgment.
unfortunately, sometimes selling drugs is some people's lifestyle, unfortunately, and that's the way that they make ends meet with whatever their life is doing. That's just what they're doing. But giving them the death penalty, I feel like is so crazy when you yourself are a convicted felon.
Who
Like,
we're sure has used drugs.
Okay.
that's just really like that. To
Right.
me, it just feels
So this
like,
this is the difference. You have people who are dealers and people who are users. These are every drug dealer. Dealing a drug and using a drug is two different things. And I know we can get into the weeds of this. I could be a user. That don't mean I'm gonna give it to nobody else because that's me. That's me killing myself. But if I'm the person who is dealing the drugs and I know that the harm of the drug that I'm giving to others, that is a consequence for giving that.
but most of the time they don't know that it.
What drug dealer
Now,
don't
what
know?
about
No,
Big
not all the
Pharma
time
and the
that they
doctors
know.
that prescribe
You're
and the
talking-
doctors
you're-
that are in business
what you're talking-
prescribing
what you're
opioids
talking
and
about,
making a
Raquel,
lot of money continuing to give
The
people these opioids.
big pharma. This is not America.
But
Big
then-
pharma. Look, you're wrong, boss said. But big pharma is not.
What?
Come on now, stop playing.
Big pharma is not selling it to the people on the street. They're giving it to people
But the
who need it.
doctors. And then the doctors.
The doctors ain't selling to the
prescribe
people
it.
on the street.
Well, the doctors prescribe it, get kickbacks. What about that?
Who?
That's not dealing?
No.
How many movies have to come out about these opioids
I'll be
and
back.
doctors
Y'all bring me back
dealing?
next week so we can follow up on this story.
How many times we ought to see a movie about the opioids and the doctors dealing and getting paid and getting kickbacks?
But is the doctors
Isn't that a dealer?
is the doctors walking out? No, they are
They're not
medical professionals.
oh, not
Lord,
The
dealing.
doctors is
they
killing
get
more
a
people than
kickback.
anybody.
But then don't go to a doctor
Thank you.
My question is the death penalty truly a solution to control this population and this epidemic?
Absolutely.
I don't
Start in
believe
the
so.
Senate and start up where he's at first.
Right.
And then you can deal from there.
You
Get
can
the
do
drugs out of the
that,
White House.
and then you'll
But
see
then you
that.
have your Epsteins and stuff, and what they were.
And you
and
also
wasn't he taking pictures with the Epstein, and that was
you
probably a
have it
drug
right in there.
written
And most
as
of the
well.
people you're gonna see that within the black
Stop
and
it
brown
right now.
communities because they don't want
Start
to
in
get out
that
and get real
community.
jobs.
Well, it's getting hot and heavy on here. We can take a
That's
short
the
commercial
problem.
break.
Right in that
Coming up
community
after
first.
this,
Tell
we
people
have
to get real
girlfriend's
jobs.
guide and unpopular opinion. Don't pay them no attention. Stay right where you at. You're watching POV.
What's up, family? Thank you so much for tuning in. It is a Monday. I hope y'all had a great weekend. And y'all know I got a question for the table. So, if y'all could have a cameo in any TV show, what would it be?
Abbott Elementary.
Of course.
And I
could
want a
see that.
series regular role.
I could see you as a principal,
you
actually.
definitely could.
The principal. I love that show.
I'll
could
say
see that.
Family Matters. I like
Okay.
Family Matters.
That's a good
Okay.
show. Yay.
Would you be one of Carl's colleagues?
I'm done.
Lord, fix it.
For me, I would say either living single or girlfriends, but I want a regular role. I don't want to be no extra real
Don't
quick.
you
just-
know?
Yeah, they need to give me a few lines.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have heard of this because y'all took it back. Okay. I would like a cameo on, so I do TV shows already, but I would love a cameo role or like an actual role, right?
A series
on,
regular.
All the Queen's Men with Eva Marcel.
Oh,
I
girl,
can
I
see you in
love
that,
that
for
show.
sure.
Very scandalous.
Oh my God, I love Eva, and I just think that she is she really stepped into that role, and I could just see myself.
You want to be her new assistant on the
What?
next?
Yes,
Okay,
they need to let the little other girl with the ponytail go. Let me in.
Series regular with all
I'll do it.
ponytail, long,
Listen,
short,
I give you what you want, baby. I give you what you want. But if y'all have a favorite TV show that you would love to have a cameo in, drop it down in our comments. We'll be right back to the show.
Welcome back. It's time to talk all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. We came across a thought-provoking scenario that's definitely worth having a discussion. A spouse and child fall overboard in the middle of the ocean, both unconscious. You can only save one. Who do you choose? One woman's answer had everybody talking, and we want to hear what y'all thought. Take a look at this clip.
Scenario: you're married with a child.
Yes.
You and your husband and your child go out on your sailboat.
Okay.
The sailboat gets struck. It's sinking.
Yeah.
Who are you going to save? The child or your husband?
Look, I would choose my child's father because we can make more children. This is an impossible choice. You also have to understand that my hierarchy in my life.
I agree.
God, my man,
husband,
my children,
and everything else.
Because if somebody said to me, you let your kids die and you saved your husband, absolutely.
Scenario:
I'm gonna let y'all take it over.
You know, normally when she speaks, I really love her, you know, opinion on things. This one, sister girl, you lost me. I just feel like if I had to make that choice, first of all, she's right. It is an impossible choice. I'm not a mother, but I can only imagine, like, if I have to look out in the sea and see that I have to make a choice between my child and my partner, I'm going to save my child. I'm going to try to save them both. But I'm going to save my child first. Just because my child, I feel like my child has a whole life to live. And I've already reproduced with my, you know, partner already.
And I would also think that the adult male or the other adult should have learned how to swim.
Hello?
By now.
If we on a boat, you need to learn how to save. You need to be able to save me. If we didn't even have no kids, you gonna save me.
I know that the Bible says you leave your parents and cleave to your spouse, but honestly, if God forbid, and Lord, I don't want it. We don't even want to be in a deep pool, Lord.
Nope.
But you know, if I was in that scenario, I could not imagine seeing, for instance, my young baby floating or fighting helplessly in the water, and I'm swimming over here to save a 40-something-year-old man. I'm not
And you
doing
just
it.
let your child die.
Lord, is this the plan you have for us? If you want him to still be my husband, save him, Lord.
I don't know. Like, I totally agree. That's impossible. I mean, I see what she's saying, that, you know,
We can make more kids.
we can make more children.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a child.
You can find another man.
Hello.
Yeah. it's-
Hello.
That's a hard choice. I mean, shoot, save who you can at that moment.
I'm gonna try to save them both. I
Yeah.
swear I am. I'm gonna
I'll
try to
probably
save
be a
them both.
Lord, just
But
take
it's
me
only-
now.
Okay, just take me.
Take me.
I don't want to see them die. Take me first.
Yeah, that's a hard choice.
Willie, what you gonna do?
Uh-oh.
Well, what she mentioned here was actually biblical. And so it was
biblical depending on the man's
principle.
interpretation.
Is a biblical thing behind it.
Allegedly.
But what I would say is the first part of what was asked here was that they were not able to. He wouldn't be able to swim. That's what it was. It was like they were right. So that means that one of them only could be saved because the other one was not in the condition to be saved.
It'd be better to save the baby because the baby will probably be lighter. You know, I know they both
be
light in the
easier.
water, but it's easier to grab that baby's finger.
It says child. It depends on how old the child is and whatever going on like that. But
And the father would probably say, save the child. I'm sorry, go ahead.
what it is, but you go back to when you have or your wife laying on the table and she's giving birth, is that same kind of scenario. Do you let her birth out the child, or do you say, let me save my wife? And so it's kind of like the same way. Am I going to save my wife, or I'm going to let the child
No,
come
not
and
if the
be
child
birthed
is
out?
already here.
But you know what?
I'm not
gonna lie. That is an interesting scenario because when I had my last son, I legit had an out of body experience. Like that soul split out that body, and I was literally hovering. And so I remember hearing the doctors, and I'm watching them, you know, just messing around with my first C-section. And my fiance, they said, do you want to go see the baby? And I'm literally over my body, and I'm sitting here like talking to him like, see the baby? Like, Nico, I'm out the body. You know what I'm saying? You know? So it does make you think, do you really want him to say the baby? Like, the baby here, the baby fine. Worry about me. I'm trying to come back in. Like, what? No, for real.
That's a rough one.
But I want to know, would you guys' answer depend on the stage that the relationship that you're in with your partner, or you know,
Dang,
if it was
imagine
your
y'all just got into a fight.
If it's your boyfriend, who you gonna say? Exactly.
You're like, you got to go.
He's over.
If he didn't give you nothing good for your birthday, who you
You said you had faith. Walk on water.
Sayonara.
Ooh, Lord Jesus.
Imagine, no, I'm sorry. I would still pick to choose my child. I would
Yeah.
still choose my child for sure. I
So
would
if
still
you
choose my
if
child.
you choose to save your spouse or your child, how would the survivor feel? How do you think the survivor will feel knowing that you chose the other one? Or
I
would
think it'd be a lot of trauma.
Just hurt all
Because that's
the
going to be a
time.
lot of like.
I
Regret.
hope they would
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of. Because you're going to have to heal from that. Because that's going to be, stuff you keep in the back of your head. And then the questions is, because you've seen some of those movies where things happen like that and they end up having kids.
Yeah.
But then it's like, the kids start having these visions of that. Like, Mom, I saw this little girl and whatever. And there's like, like they're hiding the secret throughout the family that they had this child. Like the mom that kept the baby in the freezer.
Do you think there would be some type of like resentment, like from the child, like if the father, were to actually survive?
What do you mean?
Do you
resentment
think there
from
would be like resentment from the child, like to the mother? Like if the father survives?
if the father survived?
Yes,
she didn't
if
try to
everyone
save him.
survived, right? Do you think
And you didn't try
because
to
the
save
mother
my daddy?
exactly?
No, ma'am, baby. What do you think? I'm an octopus?
I'm pretty sure Dad would say, no, save the child. If there was, I'm pretty sure if he was able to say something.
Imagine he didn't.
Or we just all jump in together.
Oh, listen, Lord, just save us all or take us all. But now it's time for that
Take us
final
all.
segment.
No, Lord.
Our final segment of the day, y'all. Let's get into unpopular opinions. A few parents took to X with some questions on whether it's right to send Black children to majority white schools. One parent shared, stop putting your kids in places where they're not comfortable, especially where they'll face racism daily. What do you guys think?
I think that's hogwash.
school.
Excuse me?
It's hogwash.
Hogwash?
I think that sending a Black child to a predominantly white school actually would be good for them. I went to a predominantly white school.
I did.
And I think it's great because what it does is it does give an advantage to you to step. I didn't face racism to that degree, and it wasn't. Of course, you had those that was prejudiced, so we would say whatever, but it was an 83% white school, and I think what it did though, it challenged, because I believe a lot of times when you go to, especially some of these all Black schools or predominantly Black schools, a lot of them just sit and focus on their Blackness. They don't focus on the education component. But when you go to like some schools, especially in some of these states, they're really like, you come in here, we're focusing on education. They want to pass, they want high scores, and I feel like that puts that focus on that child because we want our kids to go to and succeed in things. So that's how
I think this came from, I agree with what you're saying, but I think this came from a mother who was on X talking about her daughter, young girl, goes to a predominantly white school, and that, she's constantly getting criticized by by the white children. She's Black for only having one Stanley Cup and, just different things like that. So I think that response that person made was in response to her saying,
But let's look at it. I want to pose this, and I know we can't talk to him, and I just want to really look at this. Is that realistic though? Like, is that really happening? I feel like anytime we go here, it always becomes Blacks are under attack. But are we always under attack? Are we always the victim? Do we not have any victories in our lives? Do we have to always be, my child's in a white school? If you knew that from the beginning, then why put them there? If you felt like that was what they're going to be under, the scrutiny, then put them somewhere that they was going to be. I've been more bullied from Black people than white people in my life, and I'm not going to lie to you.
No, I could understand, and I get it. But I do feel like, just to speak on the victims versus victories, yes, but at the same time, you are victorious because you had that, that issue, that fight. And so we are in real time experiencing fights and backlash and things like that. But one thing about it, like my son recently transferred to a school that is not almost predominantly white, versus the school that he was going to. And what he does say at that school is that not only do they focus more on education, but the teachers actually take the time to break the lessons down to the children because they are worried about the test scores and things like that. So they want to make sure that they're retaining the information versus now everything is just virtual and they're like, here's the lesson plan, turn it in by tomorrow, you have an F.
So are we saying that Black schools, that they're not into education, that they're not like really focused on the education and the kids learning.
I'm
well,
seeing the black teachers on TikTok dancing.
Most of it's not.
So-
I'm gonna be
Lord,
honest with you.
not that. It's just that most predominantly black schools, when we're talking about, elementary or, entry level schools, not higher, education, they're in like a lot of poor neighborhoods a lot of times. So there's a lot of,
schools.
exactly. So a lot of times good teachers don't want to work in those neighborhoods, so it's a trickle down effect.
They're like battleground schools or something, they call them, or something like that. I had the opportunity to go to schools that were like, the first school was predominantly Hispanic, the second one was predominantly Jewish, the other one was predominantly black, and the other one was predominantly Latino. And I will tell you, when I was in the predominantly Jewish school, I got a lot of racism, and I was very surprised as a child, being what I learned, that I would get that kind of racism for people who have a history of saying they have been oppressed and have had some things against them. It really surprised me, even as a child, when I think about it. Very shocking to me. But I did get good education, I will say that.
But
it was good for me.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right. I know you got to go. Sorry.
Before we wrap up today's show, we're officially in March, which means it's Women's History Month. Today, we want to give a special congratulations to Zoe Saldana for winning her first Oscar. Zoe! Right?
She's so deserving.
Right? As the first American of Dominican descent to accept an Academy Award, we also want to take a moment to remember and honor the legendary Angie Stone, who sadly passed away this weekend. Her legacy will continue to live on through her music and impact. And on that note, thank you guys for tuning in. You can catch POV weekly here, only on Afro TV. Good night.